Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the 4 questions that changed your girl's makeup life. Let's go. Okay guys, so today we're going to be talking about the 4 questions that once I knew the answers to specific to me, changed everything I ever knew and thought about makeup. Everything just became so much easier. And let's talk about them. So the first question you have to ask yourself, and once you know the answer to, really just opens up the world to you, is knowing your undertone. Now, your undertone is going to be that warm, cool, or neutral tone, right? So it's not that first color you see, but the underneath tone. Now, the thing is, it's kind of easy to figure out what your tone is pretty quickly. Like, it's easy to understand, okay, I'm not in the light, and I'm not maybe in the tan, and I'm not in the dark to deep. So that's kind of easy for you to figure out fairly quickly, at least kind of get it to maybe a few choices. But your undertone is really what really cancels out all the noise and really makes that selection so much smaller and easier to choose from. Once I figured out I had a warm undertone, everything just fell into place. I understood now why that medium shade of foundation that just seemed like it would be the perfect color for me just looked a little gray or looked a little red, looked a little orange. It makes sense now that, why that eyeshadow just pulled a little bit icier on me than I thought it would. Like why that blush, even though it looked like it was the right color for me, once I put it on, it looked just ashy and sallow. It just was not very complimentary. So many things fell into place once I figured out what my undertone was, and it affects so many things: your foundation, your eyeshadow, your blush, your contour. It affects so many things. And the thing is that you can really get along pretty far not necessarily knowing your undertone, but once you figure it out, it changes everything. You stop guessing so much on foundation shades. You stop guessing so much on blushes. Like, you stop guessing so much. Now, of course, it is going to be, especially if there's 3 or 4 colors that might work for you, you're still going to have to figure that part out. But it just takes all the options and just slices so much out to make it just a small selection that makes it so much easier to choose from, and things just look so much better. Now, what I think is great is once you start understanding your undertone, you can play outside the box all you want. You can, even if you have a warm undertone, you can wear cool tone eyeshadows, you can wear a cool tone blush, you can really start figuring out how to make things work for you. But I always recommend figuring out what does work for you and really honing in on that first before going out and trying to force other things. But I just think that it was just, once I figured it out, it really saved me a lot of time, money, and just frustration. Now, along the same tones or along those same lines, as far as skin, is your skin type. Once I figured out that I had an oily skin type, so many things fell into place. And your skin type's going to be your dry, normal, oily combination. I don't really consider sensitive a skin type because you could be sensitive, oily, sensitive, dry, you could be all that kind of stuff. But once you figure out what category you fall in there, once I figured out I was oily, so many things made sense, especially when it comes to foundation. It made so much sense why this foundation didn't look the same way it looked on someone else. Or it made so much sense why that person could wear a foundation for 8 hours and look flawless, and your girl put it on, and before the setting spray even dried, it was melting off her face. So many things made sense. Skincare. I was smarter than on skincare. I realized I was using the wrong skincare because I had no idea what my skin even needed and what the problem was, and I was wasting money on stuff that just did not work, and I was actually exacerbating the problem. That's why my skin looked so bad, is because I was just doing all the things wrong, and I could see it on my face. And so really just figuring out what skin type you are really helps you make so many decisions. Once you figure that out, it kind of helps you figure out what type of product you want to use, kind of helps you figure out the formulation of products you want to use, and not just skincare and foundation, but also when it comes to blush and bronzer. Do you want to use cream? Do you want to use powder? Do you want to use a liquid foundation? So many things make more sense and are easier to identify and choose from when you've got that basis. Now, again, with skin type, it goes back to the same thing. Just because you're an oily skin type like myself does not mean you can't touch a dewy foundation, does not mean you can't wear a cream blush. It doesn't mean any of those things. What it means for me and what it did for me was it allowed me to, number one, figure out what worked best for me first, get comfortable with those things, and then if I wanted to start reaching out because I just wanted to try other products, I knew what I needed to adjust to make something work. If I wanted to use a dewy foundation, then that probably means when it comes to primer, I might want to get something that helps with the mattifying. It kind of helps you figure out what pieces to draw from what things to make the end result look great on you. So really understanding skin type, so many things. So many things. Let's not even talk about the cabinet that I have of so many things. The next question, the next question that I had to ask myself that once I figured out the answer really changed the game was eye shape. Once your girl figured out that she had hooded eyes, so many things made more sense. It made so much sense why my eyeshadow did not look like hers. It made so much more sense why stuff was transferring. It made so much more sense why things were creasing. It made so much more sense why the brushes didn't work. I can't even tell you. Oh, the brushes. I can't even tell you how many fluffy, huge brushes I have because I was watching someone do their eyeshadow, had no idea that I had hooded eyes or that my eyes were small, and I just had all these big fluffy brushes because that's what everyone was using that never worked for me. All my looks came out muddy in the application. I didn't have any control. Colors got way higher than they were supposed to. Just overall, the look, skill level comes into play too. I'm not pretending I think about my skills, but knowing that my eyes were hooded and that I had smaller eyes then helped me adjust the size of my brush. It helped me adjust where I place shadows. It helped me adjust the type of shadows that I used. So many things made more sense, and it was easier for me to watch someone else, even if they had hooded eyes or not. And of course, to say I did start with watching people with hooded eyes because I think, again, it always helps for you to find someone who is as close to you as possible, especially when you're just trying to figure it out. Find someone who is as close to you as possible and then try to mimic and understand what they're doing. Then take that understanding and that technique and start going out on your own. I just think, but I'm also a person who learns like that, so it makes sense that I know there's some people out there who just be getting out there and doing it, and I love watching y'all divas do that. But for my learning type, it's always better for me to try to match up as close as possible first, learn the skills, and then kind of move on. So I say all that to say, once I figured out that I had hooded eyes, the wasted time and just all things happen for a reason, right? I'm not bitter. All right, and then the last question that I had to ask myself, and once I figured out the answer, was face shape. I know this one probably doesn't seem quite as significant when it comes to makeup, but again, placement really does matter. And once you understand your own face shape, it really does change the game. Once I figured out that I had an oval, an oval face, it really made more sense as far as application and location of products. Where to place my blush, where to put my bronzer, where to add the depth and dimension. When you're first watching videos, everyone always places blush on the apples of their cheek. I am a firm believer that that does not work for everyone. It does not work for everyone. I firmly believe that blush placement is based on, if you're going for a certain look, let me say that. If you're going for a certain look, blush placement depends on your face shape. Once you figure out your face shape, then it makes sense. Oh no, I don't need to put blush right here. I need to put it more over here. It seems very insignificant, but I'm trying to tell you, once you figure it out, so many things make more sense. You know, you end up, you stop just contouring things to be contouring things. You stop highlighting things to be highlighting things just because you saw it somewhere else. You understand your face shape, your shadows, what you want to sculpt, what you want to highlight, what you want to round out. And that really does affect the different types of products that you use and where you place them at. So really understanding face shape changed my life. I'm trying to tell you, changed my makeup life. So those are the 4 questions that once I found out the answers, so many worlds opened up. So many worlds opened up, and it was so much easier to make better buying decisions. Definitely comment down below and let me know if I missed anything, or if there's a question that you're like, no, this is what you need to know too. Definitely comment down below, because y'all know sharing is caring and it takes a village. So I hope this information helps someone else out there. If it did, please give this video a thumbs up. And while you're here on my channel, take a look around, see what else your girl has to offer. And if you're liking what you're seeing, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.